What's up, everyone? I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Kelvin. In the last video, I talked about Munchausen and Munchausen by proxy disorder. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. Thank you so much for all the support on this channel. It's so much fun and interesting connecting with people who are commenting, people who are talking to me in my life about this channel, and how it's really cool that they think I'm doing this, and I just think it's really cool that I could share this knowledge and relate and make people feel good about any situation that they're in and all that stuff. Please like, comment, and subscribe. In this video, I'm talking about generational trauma. I'm sure a lot of people have heard this term before, and I'm sure I've brought this up in past videos, maybe very quickly, but I want to go into depth with this one. So with all that being said, let's get into this video. So what is generational trauma? It's basically trauma that extends from one generation to the next. It begins when a group experiences a traumatic event that causes economic, cultural, familial distress. In response, people belonging to that group develop physical or psychological symptoms. It's also, and this is the picture I have on the screen, so I'm just going to read it real quick. It's when the impact of a traumatic event isn't limited to the person who directly experienced it. It can influence their children, grandchildren, and even their community. So, what is it basically? So, cuz I know that's kind of a lot to process and unpack, right? Generational trauma is basically when, say for example, your parents are raised a certain way, so they believe that's how they should treat their children, their offspring, or the people around them. But in reality, it's just a form of abuse, and maybe they don't know that it's a form of abuse, or maybe they do, but they seem in their mind it's okay because they got treated that way, so why can't they treat someone else that way, right? And generational trauma, I feel like, is very, very dangerous in the sense that if it's not spotted by one of the generations, right? Say their kids or somebody around them or somebody else in the family, it can go on every single offspring that you have. It could go on to when you decide to have kids, so their grandkids. It could go on and so forth. And I feel like it's very important to spot this before it even gets to that point because stopping it right before it gets overwhelming to the point where you you think it's okay to be treated in a certain way, but you know that's not right. Like say like your friends in your life, right? Their parents don't treat them that way because maybe they didn't have abusive parents of their own. But maybe you'd like tell them what's happening in your life or somebody else's life and it's just not normal. That could have a strain on their relationship because maybe they don't know how to process any of that or they don't know how to talk you through or be there for you for anything in that nature, right? And generational trauma, again, it is, I feel like it's talked about but not talked about to the extent of how dangerous it can be. And I mean dangerous in the sense of what the point I made before. It doesn't only affect you. It doesn't only affect the person that is directly getting spoken to by said person, right? It could be anybody, and it could have such a strain on your relationship with whoever it is, be it your parents, your brother, your sister, your grandparents, or even your friends, because maybe it's all you know, but they don't know that that is not the right way to treat somebody. So, a person that experiences or suffers through generational trauma may experience feelings of shame, helplessness, and low self esteem. And they also may experience codependency, hypervigilance, unhealthy attachment styles, difficulty trusting others, mental health conditions, and substance abuse. So these are all symptoms, quote unquote, that maybe somebody in your life or somebody you know is going through, and it's very well that they could be dealing with generational trauma. Codependency and unhealthy attachment styles, I feel like go hand in hand in the sense that I made a video about trauma bonding earlier in this channel. Be sure to check that out if you haven't. But if you are trauma bonded, and that's essentially where you feel bad or you have emotions towards or an attachment towards someone who treats you badly, but it's because they're so close to you and you love them and all that stuff. You don't know how to like have life without them, but they treat you badly, but you're okay with it because say they're your parent, so it's okay. They're my parent. I love them. All that stuff, right? But if you're codependent on that person that you just, maybe you need them for money, they put a roof over your head, all this type of stuff, that goes right into unhealthy attachment styles because yes, say it's your parent, and I'll just use that example because I feel like it's the easiest to illustrate in this scenario. Say that's your parent, but if they treat you badly and they're justifying it by saying, oh, I give you a house, oh, I give you heat, oh, I give you food, all this type of stuff, that is unhealthy. You're codependent on this person because of their relationship to you, but it's not in a healthy relationship, right? And that can lead to difficulty trusting people later on in relationships. Substance abuse is a big one because maybe in your religion or in your circle, therapy isn't talked about that much. So there's such a big negative connotation. There already, I think, is a big connotation against therapy, but I feel like it's getting looser now. But there's still always that negative connotation, like, oh, nothing's wrong with me. I don't need to talk about it. I could deal it with myself. This, that, and the third. But people will go through substance abuse, drugs, alcohol, whatever it may be, gambling, because they feel like they could have that control in that aspect of their life, not knowing how unhealthy it is for you. That could be another attachment style. You are attached to these certain things. It could lead to mental health conditions, depression, PTSD. PTSD is a big one, where if you're suffering from generational trauma, and say, when you're a kid and you grow up, all this type of stuff, you're going through life, but you've been quote unquote abused all throughout these all throughout these years behind closed doors, you may not know how to fully process this, so you'll again go to substances, which could lead to just real negative thoughts in your mind. And getting ahead of that before it's too late is super crucial because if you have PTSD from not healing any of the traumas that you have gained from your childhood, I talked about your inner child in a video, all that type of stuff, it all ties in together. If you don't heal from that, say something happens later on that is very small in your everyday life, but say you have that PTSD, it triggers and you just, flip out or have a panic attack, anxiety attack, all this type of stuff, all because you didn't treat yourself and know the signs before it was too late. So that these are signs of generational trauma. So what are some ways to heal from generational trauma? Well, you could find the root source of where you think the trauma comes from, practice self care, accept your trauma, allow yourself to grieve, work on being open to change, and seek professional support. So, out of these, I feel like find the root source of your trauma is very important and accepting it because once you find the root source on what you mainly think why you have all this trauma from whatever event it may be. Once you find it, you can start working through and processing all that. You accept your trauma, you stop trying to argue with yourself saying, no, I don't have any problems. I could just figure it out myself. Once you accept it and you go through this healing process, it will be only beneficial for you. You allow yourself to grieve. Some people, and I'm not saying it's easy to do, but in order to start healing, you must be able to allow yourself to grieve. Some people, when something traumatic happens in their life, they just want to keep their mind busy 24/7 so they don't have to think about it, right? But that is just pushing off the inevitable fact that when you have to face your emotions, that's when the true healing starts. You have to work on being open to change. You got to be open minded, saying, maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I actually need to work through this on my own. Maybe I need to get help from someone, talk to somebody about this. Seek professional help. This goes back to the therapy. I feel like in 2023, now about to be 2024, the word therapy has much less of a negative connotation. I feel like it is still there, some of it, but a lot less. A lot more people are open to talk about their emotions and accept that they have they have an issue that they need to deal with, and they will go out and seek professional help, seek therapy, or maybe even just talk to somebody. Maybe anybody has their own version of therapy, right? People could go to the gym so they could get all their emotions out. They could use all their anger if they feel angry in a healthy way, and just get all your emotions out there. Therapy is another one. Just talk it out with somebody you trust. Practice self care. Again, the gym could be a big self care for a lot of people. One could be, as I brought up this point before, something maybe if you have a narcissistic, toxic person in your life, you practice no contact or gray rock or yellow rock. You won't give this person all this power, so you'll just, use one word answers, nothing they could have a rebuttal towards. And that in itself, it may not even seem like it, but it is practicing self care. You're putting yourself first and you're setting your boundaries with people that you feel like you need a boundary with. And all these things are so important for you to start understanding, accepting, and working a way through your trauma so you could properly heal. And it won't be beneficial only towards yourself, it'll be beneficial towards the people around you, right? Because once you start feeling more healthy, it will just radiate off of you. And people will realize, this has happened to me in the past personally. People will realize that maybe something is wrong with you, that you don't feel 100%. It might not be physically, it could be mentally, emotionally, right? And going through all this type of things, it will only, again, be beneficial towards you and the people around you that you see on a daily basis. So that brings me to the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Please leave a comment down below. I would love to interact with you guys more. It's really cool, as I said earlier, that I can interact with people I've never met, but it seems like some of these videos are resonating with you guys, and that's what it's all about. I want to leave you with this picture, and I'm sure this picture or variations of this picture has always has always surfaced right on the internet when talking about generational trauma, but I feel like this perfectly encapsulated, right? It's a family lineage, maybe a grandpa, a dad, and their son. So three generations. And if the grandpa telling his son that, oh, I hate you, you're not good enough, all this, that, and the third, right? And the son, the grandpa's son, will tell his kid, so now he's the dad in the situation, right? Will tell his kid, oh, you're not good enough, why can't you do this, so and so. But the present generation, the dad of the present generation, is telling his kid that he loves him and he's perfect the way he is. And the general that's the generational trauma being broken. And if I could say anything in this video is we are the generation that will break this generational trauma. Give everybody, give yourself more credit. If you're feeling like you're going through it, you can do this. It is way easier said than done, but setting firm boundaries and just treating your kid, or maybe not even your kid, maybe your friends around you, your group around you, your community, treating them the way that you want to be treated is always the way to go about life. And I really do believe that. But with all that being said, again, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell to be alerted for all my new videos. Happy holidays. Christmas is around the corner, New Year's. In 2024, I have ideas for this channel. I'm thinking of renaming it, and obviously I want to take this more seriously going into the new year, so big things to come for this channel. But again, thank you so much for the support. It's about to be a year that I've had this channel, which is kind of weird to think about. I only started making videos about mental health and narcissism over the summer, but I really feel like this is what this channel needed to be. But without me continue rambling on, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.